Good afternoon. Welcome to the TheoTRADE afternoon video. I'm Blake Young, and today is January 29th, 2026. We're going to speak today about diversifying across multiple sectors and stocks in this highly volatile market, especially today. If we look back at this last week as far as economic data is concerned, we had a very mixed story. You can see durable goods and core durable goods outperformed and moved higher. Those are your bigger ticket items, your appliances and your cars, while consumer confidence fell as well as manufacturing fell. So we have a very mixed story as far as durable goods orders versus manufacturing. And consumer confidence sliding as one of the lowest levels it's been at in the last number of months. And that's while we're buying more bigger items and bigger ticket items according to the durable goods orders. Kind of a mixed story again. We have PPI coming out tomorrow. We have some big earnings coming out tonight as well, such as Apple. And we have President Trump speaking after the market closes. So we could be all over the board, and we saw that board movements when it came down to the equity markets today. Today alone, you can see the S&P 500 had one of the largest single-day ranges in a very long time. Obviously, we have to go back to November 20th, but huge range, and traded, in essence, the entire month range of the monkey bars in a single shot. Now, we dropped from top level to bottom level and recovered almost to this top level again, and that's where I'd put the barrier. If we close down below 691, I'm shorting, I'm bearish. It's an actual trade signal. If it closes back above zero, I'm getting ready, but not buying until we get back above that 20%. The problem is this is only good for one more day. At the end of tomorrow, we will be looking at creating February's monkey bars to determine what we expect in the next move. So not that big of opportunity as far as one day on the charts, but you can still see the levels are liked and respected. So a lower close, I think we could go back and test 687 tomorrow. And depending on what President Trump says and depending on how PPI comes out, that might happen even before we open tomorrow. So we might be back down to 687. So a lot of it depends on where we close today and the market's concerned. While this market is getting volatile, while we see these bigger range moves where we're seeing a 12-point range on the S&P in a single day, we're looking for things that are going to be less aggressive for holding for longer time periods and possibly more aggressive with things we're going to go bearish or short. To begin with some of the setups I've seen, an opportunity with APA. APA is an energy stock, so we're looking at multiple sectors, and it gapped up and closed back down. So it hasn't filled the gap yet. The gap could be filled all the way down to 26. This pushes it into the oversold area. And the reason why I like APA here is because, one, it has a low beta. It has a 0.75 beta. So if the market's really volatile, it's generally moving at about 0.75 that of normal. Additionally, if we own this, they pay a 4% dividend. So if I buy into this and I own it, I just have to sit on it and collect a 4% dividend. But if this is the setup to bounce and break out, even though we'll get new numbers on after close tomorrow, we're looking for probably a move of about 10% plus a 4% dividend, and that's just in a single month. So 1% for the dividend possibly on the payment if we hold it for a couple of months, and then 10% move. And we'll see what the numbers are after tomorrow, but I like the setup here, and we can also look at selling premium to get in. To sell 3 weeks worth, we can get a 2.74% return on selling the 2550, and that means we get paid 2.74% for 3 weeks, not even a month. If we go for a month, we can get paid 3.3% at 25. So the price would have to fall $1.38 for us to even get assigned. And if we're getting that at that position, really before we lose, the price would have to fall nearly 8%. So 8% potential drop before we even lose a dime on this. And if we get assigned again, then we're set up to collect that dividend. Moving from energy to technology, or communications, I should say. Communications. AT&T bounced right out of its oversold zone and right up to its overbought zone based off of earnings. So we're now past earnings. We probably reacted to it, but the nice thing is we just closed above the previous high. We broke the downtrend, and the close above 24.99, which is what we're getting today, is a good sign that we're going to have a continuation higher. Like the others, I like this because it has a 0.36 beta, which means it only moves about 1/3 the moves you would expect in the markets. It only moves about 1/3 the speed or 1/3 the volatility. In addition, AT&T pays a 4% dividend, a 3.9% dividend. So again, we might buy it here and look for it to go up to 27. Might get an 8 to 10% move up, but we'll wait until Monday to get our February levels on this. And what we're looking for is collecting that dividend. The dividend was just paid, so we're not getting another one all the way out until February. So for the time being, we want to start looking at either buying the stock for the directional move or selling puts every month to try to collect 2 to 3%, depending on which one we're selling at. At the money right now is 2.15%, and sell it for February, sell it for March, and then hopefully get a sign before April so that we can collect that dividend as well. A little bit lower return than I generally like, but I do like the stock. I do like the breakout. I do like the expansion, the end of the trend. And the fact is, both APA and AT&T have really good fundamentals as far as fixed coverage charge, which brings us to the next one. Procter & Gamble is a consumer staple stock. Huge run up, end of the downtrend. This is what we're looking at for AT&T, is this type of behavior. That we had a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows, that we had a signal out of the monkey bars, we broke out and cleared the previous high, pulled back, and today looks like a bounce. Now, I would have liked to see this, and it was earlier, closing above 149.70. So we're right there on that edge. If we close above, I am looking to be bullish in Procter & Gamble. Their dividend was also just paid. So we're not going to get that payment again until April. And the dividends here is not high enough to justify selling puts while we wait. So instead, it might be worth just buying the stock now, letting it appreciate that 8 to 10% that we should be able to get out of it, or buy in the money options at about 146, pay $6 for the right to own it, and let this run every month and roll it out while we grow that. Now, we could buy that delta of 70 and sell the premium against that, which would be sell the 37 at 152.50 and create a vertical spread that has no time decay, and that one works as well. Procter & Gamble also has a beta of 0.36, so big dividend when we do get to the point where we're going to collect a dividend, and a very low beta, and 2.8% dividend and a very low beta. So it's a safe place to be while we're seeing all this volatility. This did not experience 3, 4, 5 times the move like the rest of the market did. The last one we're going to look at for a bullish opportunity is going to be USB. And USB was right here at the top. It's created what I'd consider an ascending triangle. The next breakout could be about 8% on the move higher. We've paid our December dividend, which means the next one is not going to come up until March. So I don't really need to chase it for the dividend. I may let it pull back and find the bounce, or simply close above this previous high close, maybe 56.50. So if we close above 56.50, I'll feel like we have this breakout and looking for that 10% move. And then we can collect the dividend potentially in March. So it could be a long-term hold. And their beta is a little bit more normal. USB has a 1. So a 1 beta says it's basically going to act like the S&P 500. So we're watching this. We're looking for these potential moves. This just gives us an opportunity to collect that dividend if we hold it for a time. And I do think we could run that bounce off this ascending triangle, which is about a 5% move, and then start collecting the dividend in March. So these are all looking for bullish stocks. They're all looking for good fixed coverage charge, good quick ratios, lower betas, and a dividend. It's trying to give us some safety in the chaos. But if you want to participate in the bigger directional moves, then I'd say you want to look for things that have terrible financials, terrible fixed coverage, have a higher beta if you're going to take the risk to the downside. And I'm just going to look at 2 there, and that's going to be Snow and Wayfair. So let's take a look. Now, I think Snow is getting hit because of the AI slowdown and the fact that the financials and the funding is not looking good for a bunch of these companies, and so this will impact Snow. We have a gap down, close down. They have a fixed coverage charge of negative 166, which means they owe a lot of money and are paying a lot of money on their fixed charges compared to their income. It's not great. They have a 1.5 beta, so every time the market moves up or down, they should get a 1.5 times move. So when today's move went down aggressively in the S&P 500, you can see we went from here yesterday at 215 all the way down to 195. So we had a 10% move in Snow, except it wasn't 5% up, 5% down like the S&P 500. It was just 10% down. So Snow is giving us a very strong bearish signal, maybe a funny looking bear flag. I'm looking for Snow to at least test 180, and that's another 20 points, which is another 10% to the downside. And again, their data, their fixed coverage charge, their economics, their financials, whatever you want to call it, really is suffering. So that very bad financial data and a gap down, close down with good volume is committed to more downside for Snow. Wayfair, which obviously is a consumer discretionary company, you can see they were doing okay, higher highs, higher lows, pushing up through these top. But if we see that consumers have lower confidence, and we know they have a negative fixed coverage charge, and they have a 3.3 beta, which means they should move a lot bigger, in fact, a lot bigger than what they actually did, this is set up for another leg down. Now, earlier today, when I was looking at stocks I wanted to consider, we had pushed lower, and we'd actually crossed the 40 and 50 down and cleared the previous 2 weeks lows. It looked like a lower high, lower low breakout. I was looking for this to go from 118 to 106 and go for another $12 move, which would bring this all the way down to 94. Thought it'd give a pretty good opportunity to reach that next level. So another 10 to 15% lower, if not continuing lower if we get new levels. It's recovered towards the end of the day, so it did uncross. It may be worth waiting to see if we can get a close below here and seeing what our February numbers are. But earlier today, it looked very promising as a reversal, a rollover, a lower high, lower low, a moving average cross down, and clearing out the last 2 weeks lows. So I thought it was a good setup, but we recovered. So we recovered just inside. We will wait probably another day or so and then set up Wayfair to the next leg down. But when it does happen, I think 94 is on the table, and that brings us back into these lows, and it gives you a 10% opportunity to the downside. Once again, I think what we're facing is extra volatility for stocks that we want to own for a longer period of time so we can collect dividends. Let's go with lower beta, stronger financials or fundamentals that pay a dividend and let it play out. For things that we are going to go short or bearish, then we can be a little bit more aggressive because we're looking to hold it to a specific target and be done. It may be a week, it may be 2 weeks, it may be a day for the bearish stuff. A week, 2 weeks to a day could hit those numbers and you'd be done. But the longer term holds, let's take lower betas, higher stability, better financials, and good dividends. And that's what I'm looking at this week like I was 2 weeks ago, and we're going to continue looking for those kind of stocks that give us opportunities while also giving us stability. Thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the main room tomorrow, and we'll talk to you again next week.